I remember finishing up high school for the day. It's about 4 p.m. and everyone is trying to get out at the same time. There's people everywhere and just this constant noise of people shouting, telling everyone to hurry up. At this point in my life, I had terrible social anxiety, so I could feel myself getting more and more anxious as I was waiting in line to get out. After what felt like an eternity, I finally made it out of the main entrance of my school. What I'm about to do next got me feeling so nervous. My brain is having like 100 thoughts at the same time, and I can feel my body just starting to sweat more and more and more. The night before, I planned to do something that I'd wanted to do for a really long time, but I never found the courage to do it. Something that could completely change my life forever if I just stayed consistent for a long period of time. I had been watching YouTube videos about it for years and years at this point, but I never had what it took to take action on it. I had literal dreams of how much my life would improve if I decided to actually do it instead of overthinking. And that thing was going to the gym. Feel free to add me on Discord if you want to talk about fitness and get advice from me personally. I'll put my username on the screen right here, but also in the description. For as long as I can remember, I had always been an overweight person. Whenever I was with my friends, I was always one of the biggest people in the group, and that used to give me so much unwanted attention. I remember it like literally yesterday, just the look on the other kids' faces whenever I was walking around the schoolyard. They didn't think that I could tell they were looking, but I could see it and feel it from like a mile away. So my plan is to go to the gym for the first time in my life, after I finished high school for the day. I had watched so many different YouTube videos about it because deep inside, I was just so tired of being this fat and insecure kid. I just needed some way to change. I had packed some gym clothes the night before, so I had everything I needed to get started. The gym was about 5 minutes away from my school, and I remember on the way there, all the feelings that I felt before, they only got more and more intense. My back is literally drenched in sweat. The anxiety that I felt before, it only got worse and worse as I kept walking. I had never ever been this nervous in my life before. All the YouTube videos that I watched beforehand about the workouts and exercises, everything that I remembered just completely faded away from my brain. I have literally no idea what I'm doing, and my brain makes sure to remind me of that over and over and over. It keeps telling me things like, "What are you doing? Just go home instead. We can do this another time, right?" But for some reason, I decided to keep walking no matter what it was telling me. Change comes when the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of change. What I didn't tell you is that I was in this situation just a couple of days before, but that time my brain actually got the best of me and I decided to go home instead. This time, however, was gonna be different. On my way to the gym, I had constant battles with my brain. It was like I was in a tug of war and trying my best to not fall over. Thoughts like, "This is a complete waste of time." Those were just repeated in my head over and over and over. After some time, I finally get to the entrance. I remember just looking up at the massive logo and thinking to myself, let's do this. I can't back out like last time. I put in so much effort to get here. I have to just accept that it's gonna be a struggle, but my life will be better off because of it. I take a deep breath. And I step inside. This leads me on to the first thing that the gym taught me about life, and that is that anything worth having doesn't come easy. If I wanted to change for the better, I had to make a sacrifice, and that sacrifice was going to be my own comfort. I could have wished for someone to do the work for me like 100 times, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to me. No one is going to come and snap their fingers and give me like everything I ever wanted. And even if they could do that, I would know deep down that I don't even deserve it in the first place. Just think about this in your own life. The moments where you could have done something that really could have changed your life for the better if you took action, but in the end you did nothing about it. You felt nervous or anxious because you didn't know if you could do it. You were afraid to fail, even though deep down you knew that at least trying would have been better than not doing anything at all. I have been in moments like this so many times in my life, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the majority of them I didn't take action. You know, whether it's talking to that girl you find attractive or trying out a new sport. I want you to remember what I said earlier. Change comes when the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of change. You know, it comes to a point in your life where the pain is so bad of staying the same that you just have to do something about it. This was that moment for me, you know, when I was going to the gym. I'd always wanted to look better and feel more confident in myself, but I was always so scared to do something about it because I was afraid of leaving my comfort zone. At some point, you get so tired of being the same person over and over and over that you don't even care if you're nervous or anxious or whatever you can think of, because you know deep down that it's only up to you and no one else. The gym happened to be the best place for me to do this, because not only did I have to get out of my comfort zone of, you know, just playing video games every single day, but in order for me to get better, I had to be bad first, right? And the only way for me to get results was to put in the time. Look, the point I'm trying to make here is that anything worth having in this life, you have to work hard for, whether it's physically or mentally. So for example, if you have dreams of starting a YouTube channel, asking that girl out you find attractive, or whatever you can think of, you have to at least try. Moments like these is what's going to grow you into a better person for the long run. And here's the truth. There is someone out there right now as I speak that is less intelligent than you. They are less attractive than you. They are less funny than you. But they are still going to end up more successful. You want to know why? Because they at least gave it a try. That is the difference. They don't see it as being bad at something and, you know, failing over and over. They see it as growing. They're not actually failing. They're learning. You know, they have this mindset that either you win or you learn. There is no such thing as failing and not learning, because no matter the mistake you do, there is always something you can take out of it to make yourself a better person in the end. Let me give you an example. You know, for as long as I can remember, I had always wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I was so scared to do something about it. And now look at me. I'm sitting here right in front of you talking, right? And it's not as scary as I thought it would be. And you know, the only way for me to actually get better at doing this is just doing it more and more and more. I am probably the biggest overthinker of all the people I know. And if I have what it takes to sit here and talk with you right now, there's no reason that you can't do the same. Don't think so much and just try and do it. That's the best advice I can give you. And trust me when I say this, this comes from someone who really overthinks. The second thing that the gym taught me about life is to not compare your progress to anyone else's. How many times have you done something that you're really proud of, no matter how big or small it is, just for you to go on social media and see someone do it like 10 times better than you and completely effortless? This has happened to me more times than I can remember. This was especially true for me when I first started seeing progress in the gym. You know, for the majority of my life, I was pretty much an overweight person, right? So me stepping inside the gym was a huge mental battle for me. I remember at the time that I probably lost like 2 kilos of weight and there was no visual difference on my body, right? But I was so proud of myself because I knew that I was going in the right direction. However, later that day, I decided to open up Instagram. Not even 5 seconds in of looking at the explore page, I saw these people with insane transformations. You know, they were more overweight than I was to begin with. And now they had a physique like a complete superhero. They had started off so much worse than I did, and now they had a body that I could just only dream of. You know, the happiness that I felt before of losing those 2 kilos, it was just completely gone. The point I'm trying to make here is that you comparing your own progress to anyone else's is only gonna do you more harm than good in the long run. You know, the main reason that we compare ourselves to others is that we want to boost our own ego in one way or another, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that it doesn't feel good when I know that I look better than someone else or, you know, have more progress in the gym. That is just completely natural to us as humans. However, when it comes to the point where you start putting yourself down because you see that someone else is doing better than you, that's when it gets so much more dangerous. You know, you literally get blinded of your own progress, no matter how big or small it is. And from my experience, that can literally make you depressed. If you are the type of person who can compare yourself to others and use it as motivation instead, then that is great and continue doing that. But if you're anything like me and it only hurts you more than anything else, then you have to cut out the noise and stay so much more focused on yourself. These are the biggest lessons that the gym has taught me about life so far, and I know for sure there's going to be more of them in the future. Remember to add me on Discord if you want to talk about fitness and get advice from me personally. I'll put my username on the screen right now, but also in the description. More videos just like this one are on the way, so why not press subscribe while you're at it, and thanks for watching.